Hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be a spicy video, okay? I'm a little bit nervous, but look at this title. We're experts in fascism. We're leaving the United States. Ooh, damn. And I don't know. I feel like some people might get upset at this one. We'll see. It could go either way. I don't know. It might make everybody upset. Like what I say. I don't know. You know, these are very sensitive type of topics right here. And sometimes I like to play devil's advocate, you know, on what I'm hearing and stuff. And I don't know. I mean, I really don't know because I haven't even seen the video yet, but it's by the small and up-and-coming New York Times. Check them out, link down below. Let's see what they got to say. The Fascism Experts. There they are. Yale professors.
I'm a historian of totalitarianism.
I look at fascist rhetoric.
I've been thinking about the sources of the
Trump certainly has that, fascist rhetoric.
worst kinds of history for a quarter of a century.
Experts say the constitutional crisis is here now.
The Trump administration deporting hundreds of men without a trial.
A massive purge.
Damn, what a horrible scene that is right there.
Here now.
You know what I mean? Just what a degrading scene that is right there.
Trump administration deporting hundreds of men without a trial.
A massive purge at the FBI.
To make people afraid of speaking out against him.
Yes, he is like suing people. I mean, it's a horrible precedent. It's absolutely despicable. Some of the things Trump is doing, for sure. Intimidating people, suing people. Meanwhile, on the flip side, he's letting literal fraudsters go like Trevor Milton.
I'm leaving to the University of Toronto because I want to do my work without the fear that I will be punished for my words.
The lesson of 1933 is you get out sooner rather than later.
Interesting.
I've spent a lot of time in the...
I mean, obviously I have a pretty small YouTube channel over here on the corner of the internet, but I'm very critical of Trump and really any administration in power here in the United States. And I've never had any concern for my safety. I don't think. Yeah, like I've never felt any need to suppress how I really feel about it.
last decade trying to...
Maybe I should. Maybe this will be my last video.
prepare people if Trump were elected once, let alone twice.
Look what happened. Is this crazy?
I did not flee Trump, but if people are going to leave the United States or leave American universities, there are reasons for that. One thing you can definitely learn from Russians
Is that it's essential to set up centers of resistance in places of relative safety.
we want to make sure that if there is a political crisis
And what does he mean by that? Centers of resistance outside America?
in the U.S., that Americans are organized.
We've just gotten...
If there is a political crisis in the U.S., that Americans are organized.
We've just gotten started. You haven't even seen anything yet. It's all just kicking in.
My colleagues
Creepy.
and friends, they were walking around and saying, we have checks and balances, so let's inhale, checks and balances, exhale, checks and balances.
That is definitely okay. She does kind of sound like me right now. You know, that's it. That goes on inside my head. You know, we have the Constitution. No one man, no matter how much he wishes or thinks he is the king, no one man can obstruct the Constitution. You know what I mean?
And I thought, my God, we're like people on the Titanic saying our ship
But at the same time, it can be slowly eroded away, huh?
can't sink. We've got the best ship, we've got the strongest ship, we've got the biggest ship. Our ship can't sink. And what you know as a historian is that there is no such thing as a ship that...
I'll tell you this right now. Trump has alluded to the idea, a psychotic idea, of somehow running for a third term or being instated as president for a third term. If that happens, if he's somehow instated or elected to a third term, maybe he goes to war and says, we can't do elections during war, you know. That will absolutely be a point in which everything I'm saying to the contrary goes out the window. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will absolutely be like, okay, we got to figure something out, guys. Gonna have to figure something out here.
can't sink.
The golden age of America has only just begun.
America has long had an exceptionalist narrative. Fascism can happen elsewhere, but not here.
But talking about American exceptionalism is basically a way to get people to fall into line.
Well, a lot of America's core values are kind of based on like being anti-fascist, you know, anti-dictatorial.
If you think that there's this thing out there called America and it's exceptional, that means that you don't have to do anything. Whatever is happening, it must be freedom.
That's true. This type of fallacy, I totally agree with that. You know, people don't realize sometimes that you have to continually and forever fight against any type of oppression, you know, and all those forces, you know, they will forever attempt to come down, rain down upon you. You know, the job is never over.
And so then what your definition of freedom is just gets narrowed and narrowed and narrowed and narrowed, and soon you're using the word freedom, but what you're talking about is authoritarianism.
Toni Morrison warned us.
The descent into a final solution is not a jump, it's one step. And then another. And then another.
We are seeing those steps accelerate.
Got it. That clip of Elon Musk is just too on the nose, huh? It's literally unfucking believable. And he has the nerve, and people have the nerve to say that's not a Nazi salute, you know? People really have that nerve to say that. They have, with a straight face, a 100% straight face. In fact, they'll tell you, you're crazy if you think he would do a Nazi salute. That's not a Nazi salute. You're crazy. That's what they'll do.
We are seeing those steps accelerated right now.
There are some words, in Russian in particular, that I feel help us to understand what's happening in the United States, because we now have those phenomena. Произвол. It's the idea that the powers that be can do anything they want to you, and you have no recourse. This not knowing who is next creates a state of paralysis in society.
The Tufts student whose visa was removed because she co-authored an article in the Tufts student newspaper.
I thought, what would I do if guys in masks tried to grab my student? Would I scream? Would I run away? Would I try to pull the mask off? Would I try to videotape the scene? Would I try to pull the guys off of her? Maybe I would get scared and run away. The truth is, I don't know. Not knowing.
And that was a very disturbing incident, obviously intended to have a chilling effect on people here on visas, because of course they were able to do that to that girl because she's not a citizen. She's here on student visa, and so they're able to revoke her visa and therefore arrest her, obviously as an intimidation method. And if they could get away with doing that to citizens, and I almost guarantee they would. Our right to free speech here in America is very, very strong, but I am afraid of the potential for things like defamation to be twisted under this administration to justify arresting innocent people for their speech, which is the reason I'm very, very pro free speech, you know, because the people in power, I mean, maybe the current people in power, you agree with them on what speech should be illegal or not, but you never know who might come to power and what they might determine is hate speech or defamation.
Terrified me.
It's a deliberate act of terror. It's not necessary. It's just being done to create a spirit of us and them.
Продажность.
It's a message, you know, it's a message. Don't attempt to rebel, you know, against the state, especially if you're not a citizen.
It's a word in Russian for corruption, but it's larger than corruption. It refers to a kind of existential state in which not only everything but everyone can be bought or sold.
Critics are calling this a quid pro quo deal between
the plane.
between Adams and President Trump.
I'm committed to buying and owning Gaza. He made $2.5 billion today, and he made $900 million.
There's an expression in Polish. I found myself at the very bottom, and then I heard knocking from below. In Russian, that gets abbreviated to there is no bottom.
Whoa, that's a pretty scary notion right there. That's pretty, wow. I was at the bottom, and then I heard knocking from below. I like that.
We cannot allow...
And obviously, Trump can be bought and sold. You know, I mean, that's blatantly obvious. That's literally what Elon Musk did. Bought his way into being Trump's right-hand man. And that's how Trevor Milton got a pardon, donating to his campaign. And having his lawyer be the brother of the Attorney General. Can't make it up.
A handful of communist radical left judges to obstruct the enforcement of our laws.
What starts to matter is not what is concealed, but what has been normalized. There's no limit to the depravity.
President Trump did not rule out the possibility of a third term.
And the sadism.
The White House released this video titled ASMR, Illegal Alien Deportation Flight.
And the cruelty that we are watching now play out in real time.
This facility is one of the tools in our toolkit that we will use.
You have to continually ask yourself the question, is this okay? Is there a line I wouldn't cross? Is there something I would not do?
People say, oh, the Democrats should be doing more, they should be fixing things. But if you want the Democrats to do things, you have to create the platform for them. You have to create the spectacle, the pageantry, the positive energy, the physical place where they can come to you.
What?
Poland.
I'm sorry, what did he just say?
If you want the Democrats to do things, you have to create the platform for them. You have to create the spectacle, the pageantry, the positive energy, the physical place where they can come to you.
The Democrats have their own issues, you know? They took their eye off the ball a long time ago, stopped worrying about the working class people, stopped worrying about healthcare, and honestly, seemingly, it's like they purposely did their best to divide the country as fast and into as many pieces as possible. And then I guess they're shocked that there's now a power vacuum, essentially, that some fascist idiot comes in and vacuums it all up.
Energy, the physical place where they can come to you.
Poland recently went through a shift towards authoritarianism. Unlike in Russia, unlike in Hungary, the media remained a place in Poland where you could criticize the regime.
That's essential.
And as a result, democracy returned.
I mean, this is why we enshrined the freedom of the press, freedom of speech, into the very first amendment to the Constitution, the Bill of Rights.
The moral of Poland is that our democratic institutions, the media, the university, and the courts, are essential. You know you're living in a fascist society when you're constantly going over in your head the reasons why you're safe. What we want is a country where none of us have to feel that way.
That was a really great video. That was very pointed, thought-provoking, scary. Ultimately, I feel, you know, what lets me sleep at night is my faith in the Constitution, even though it's obviously being tested. But if Trump weasels his way into a third term, my faith in the Constitution will be entirely cracked and shattered into a million pieces at that point. And we'll have to go from there. That was scary. I'll be thinking about that one. Thank you for watching. Thanks for suggesting that video. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.